Hi, this is Mary Baca with Remotely Unique, coming to you from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I have a very special guest in my studio today, one of my team members. As you know, I'm covering or introducing my various team members. I have a clinical team, and I have a holistic team, and an admin team. And the guest today, which is Latisha Montoya, she's part of two teams. She's part of the admin for Odyssey Counseling and also part of my holistic team for Resilience Integrative Services. I've actually known Latisha for a long time. I met her when she was 14 years old, as crazy as that sounds, and she's 25 today?
Yes, 25.
So, I mean, oh my gosh, like that time has just flown. Really, it seems like just yesterday. You know, when I met you and you were like still in high school. Well, yeah, high school then. So you can just share whatever you want. Just start and I'll fill in the blanks and ask you questions.
Okay, so I always knew whenever I was little that I had some sort of intuition going on, and, you know, I would know things without being told, and just real spiritual, always. And I remember whenever I was younger, I would pick up rocks off the ground and, you know, just collect them and everything. So now that I started with my holistic career, it's been really great because it seems like everything since I was young is just going hand in hand with what I was doing when I was younger. So it's really amazing.
And you know, I never knew that about you. It's interesting because, you know, I think I've just recently, well, probably the last 7 to 8 years, I've just started kind of finding my own intuitive gifts. But when I knew you when you were young, I never knew that about you. And so fast forward to now, you know, I've trained you holistically and you're on my team and all this stuff. So it's interesting how that just kind of falls together without either of us even knowing that we had that common thing in common, you know? I think that's so cool.
It really is interesting, honestly, because, you know, we both watched each other grow in many different ways, and you've helped me, you know, in so many ways, you know, become a woman and a practitioner, a specialist with first responders, and, you know, I mean, it's just, my spectrum has completely opened up to everything, you know, and it's been truly amazing.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch you grow, truly. It's just like, you know, and I know over the years before you became a practitioner, we would keep in touch, you know, like I'd either reach out to you or you'd bring me a Christmas card or a Christmas gift even, you know. That always meant so much, you know. So I'd hear from you just out of the blue. Probably not out of the blue, right? Like now we can kind of know how intuition works, you know. It was probably at times when we were thinking about each other. But yeah, so if you share what you want about how we met and how you know, what your journey has been to getting into even a holistic practice.
Yeah, so when I first started seeing you, I was 14. I was, I think, in 7th grade. You know, just going through the motions of a normal teenage girl, finding herself and where she fits in and everything. And when I did find my place in life, it wasn't the place that I did belong. I got involved with some people that, you know, I was going down a wrong path and doing things opposite of what I'm doing now. I wouldn't consider myself to be a good person during that time of my life. And being in that situation, you realize a lot of things, spiritually, mentally, physically, you know, you realize a lot. And realizing that that wasn't my place, I decided to come back and see you, which, you know, you've always helped me. And doing so, you brought to my attention the holistic work. And
oh, interesting. See, I don't really even remember how that happened, you know?
And being with the holistic work, you know, like I said, being young, having the intuition and, you know, just having a feel for everything that you started. And I felt like this was a place where I did belong, you know, where I didn't have to try to fit in or try to impress anybody. It was just natural.
Yeah.
And it's a very beautiful feeling to go somewhere and have that natural just feeling of fitting in, you know, with different women, you know, different age groups. You know, clinicians, therapists, just a whole different type of group than what I was used to before. And it's just completely opened my eyes to see the world. You know, there's still good in this world. And there's still so much beauty behind all the pain that we see. And that is what's truly incredible to me, is coming from a place full of just pain to be able to come in here and help people in situations that I was in, or even, for something simple, not that anxiety is simple, but to help people with issues that I struggled with, I think that is the biggest reward that I have been given.
Yeah.
Coming out of it.
Some of the work you've done, so talk specifically about the certifications you have, which are several.
Yeah, I mean, the first certification I got was the holistic practitioner with you, which was really eye-opening. Again, all the things that you taught me with the crystals and the pendulums, and it's just really fascinating. And
now, was the intuition series the first thing you took, or was it the quantum alignment? It was the intuition series, wasn't it?
Yes, the intuition series to lead me up to the quantum alignment, to prepare myself for that, which is a fabulous modality that you have created. And yes, it's really great. And going through that training, I think it's really matured me spiritually and as a woman to fit in the place where I naturally belong with, all these other healers. And it's just an honor to be able to help people in a way that they're not even positive that they're struggling. And exactly what I mean by that. And going into quantum alignment, you then introduced me to Reiki. And that really just, it's a completely different modality, but it goes hand in hand with holistic work and helping people with energy and everything else. And then you introduced me to first responder specialist as well. And I think, that is very honorable as well, because we're helping people that help society. And, it's just, I can't, express the way that I feel helping people. It's just so magical.
It is.
That the words are so
powerful.
Describing. It's very powerful. And, going through these trainings and everything, it's helped me realize a lot about people and about the struggles we all go through, and how a lot of us have the same, not situations, but the same understanding of coming out of those situations. And, not everybody has like a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So to be able to have holistic work and those two go hand in hand, how you're doing here, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, I think it's great that, how can I put it, like that you are sharing some about your history, because it's like that helps you, and all of us have a history, for sure. But that helps you be able to relate to your clients, even if you don't talk to them about it. You can relate to some of their struggles. And also, though, even more important, like know that it's possible to overcome that. And, not that it's a done deal, right? Like, I mean, life is life, and life presents struggles on and off forever. That is just the challenge of life, I think, But you have overcome a lot of things. Like, I've told people before, and I don't ever go into detail about it, but I say, she's lucky to be alive. But that's a beautiful thing, because you definitely have your place on earth. Like, there is some very special things that God has planned for you, and that He needs you for,
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, actually, because being in a place of distraught and, everything else that I was going through, it seems like you can't get over it. Like you're stuck in just this sludge of just unhappiness. And during that time, I am lucky to be alive because of the people I was with and the situations that I was putting myself into, overcoming drug addictions, overcoming, I could have ended up in prison even. Yeah. Just so many different things that I was doing wrongly. But there's a point in your life, and I think, like you said, it comes for everybody, where you have to decide if you're going to continue on your path or if you're going to take the higher road. Mm-hmm. And I thank God that I had people in my life, including yourself, that helped me take that higher road, because if it wasn't for that, I would not be here today.
Right.
And I would not be a practitioner helping people.
Yeah.
But, everything does happen for a reason, and I think that if I did not go through what I did, I still wouldn't be here. I had to go through what I did to realize certain things in life, not only about myself, but about other people.
Yes. Yeah, because there's something about being able to directly relate to people.
Absolutely.
And know, like, it's very humbling, right? Because when you work past your own stuff, it's humbling then to see people who are in the middle of it and to extend that hand, whether it's through counseling, like I have done in my career, or holistic services, to be able to extend that helping hand, and let people know you're not alone. I'll walk with you through this. I'll work on your energy and your body in order to help you get past this. Like, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing both ways. It's a beautiful thing to offer that to people, and then it's an amazing thing when they receive it and they accept that and embrace that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I first started seeing you, I was a mess. If you could remember, I mean, I couldn't even finish school because my anxiety was just so bad to the point where they kicked me out of school. I was not able to function as a normal human being in class because of everything that I was going through. And, a lot of people, they think that certain things are normal that happen to them. And, it's not the case of just growing up as a normal teenager. Some of the stuff that people experience, they take into adulthood and so on and so forth. And I was very lucky in life to have found such a good counselor to help me through that. And, being in the profession that I am now, like you said, being on the other side of the fence, it's very, very humbling and rewarding at the same time, because you feel great being able to send these people home with a smile at the end of the day.
You see the relief in them, right? Like you see them walk in. One of the things that we do routinely is measure the level of relaxation a person has coming in before they receive the treatment and then after. And so you see that, you have that measurement, but then also, like, you just see it in their body, right? You see them come in all tense, maybe, stressed out. I go like this with my shoulders because a lot of people do that when they're stressed, they carry it in their shoulders. And then when you're done, you see them relaxed, right? What has that experience been like for you to do work on people, to do energy work? Well, even like when you first started, before you started, when you first, I don't even know, I think somewhere I created quantum alignment and then I'm like, okay, well, I need to see how this goes. So you and Veronica Torres were my first quantum alignment students. So talk even since then.
It's been amazing, honestly. Just, how you transitioned us from just the intuition into the actual work, from the class to the actual work. It's been very rewarding because to be able to, to talk to somebody is different than working on them spiritually 100%, because you see things that they may not be aware of, and it's just a very personal type of work. You can't get any closer to somebody than their energy field, truly.
Absolutely.
And going through these courses with you, it's just evolving into more and more beauty, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, you go from introducing yourself, from them walking to the door, to you knowing half of the stuff they went through in their life by the time they leave. And they come in very nervous, like you said, and just distraught at sometimes. And we don't know why, we're not told. But once our session is over, they just feel so relieved, and you feel relieved because you're able to help them through that. And I think me and Veronica Torres can both, agree to that we're in the right place at the right time, most definitely. When we both started, we were unsure if we were going to be capable of doing, what we're doing now, and to be able to say that we absolutely are, it's an incredible feeling to know that we're able to do something so powerful and personal with people that it helps them, with PTSD, with sleep disorders, with just a number of things, their eating habits, their sleeping habits. It's a different sort of, what's the word I could use? It's a different sort of help that people are not used to in this day and age. But now that it's coming to the surface, more and more people are wanting to experience the work that we're doing here. And I think that is incredible.
Yeah, it's true. I think people are just ready for something different, And a lot of times they don't know what that is that they're looking for, but when you put it in front of their face, they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll check it out. And then we have people, most of the time, I would say 95% of the time people come back, because they experience something that is very powerful for them, and really is helpful to them. And so it's pretty common that they come back, they're return clients, It's, when I started the quantum alignment training, you guys were the first people I've ever trained holistically. And, so I didn't know either how it was going to go. The three of us were kind of like, okay, I don't really know how this is going to go. Now, I have modules and it's developed and it's a lot farther. This was like probably about a year and a half ago when you went through the training originally. So you've been a holistic practitioner for that long.
It does not seem that long. Time has flown, hasn't it?
It goes by. Well, last year, with COVID, it was like a blur.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so maybe even going on 2 years, because you actually got trained, I think, in 2019.
December of 2019 is when I got trained.
Wow, so in December it'll be 2 years. Wow. And you went through a practicum, so talk about that, what that was like. Do you remember?
I do, actually, and that was very interesting, like I said, going into something and not really knowing what to expect. Mm-hmm. And to do these practicums on these people, it was very eye-opening to the work that we're doing, because you could always hear, but some people you have to see to believe, mm-hmm. and I'm one of those people. I have to see it to believe it. Mm-hmm. So doing this work on these people and getting all this information and everything is just like, oh my goodness, there's some things that you're not even sure to bring up in the conversation because it's so deep. But when it's validating with you and your client, it's, you see and you believe. And that is just so wonderful and magical. I mean, to be able to help somebody like that and starting, me and Veronica, we started on each other, actually. We were all practicing on each other, and that was very fun, to be able to do the different things you had us doing and the different steps. And I definitely think now things are set in stone. Things are rolling very well, and they do come back. And it's also very beautiful. Like, for example, when we have a client that has a service dog, for example, we could do Reiki on them, and that's a whole nother conversation, but it's amazing.
I know, I want to sometime on the show have us, like, working on dogs.
That would be awesome.
Doing energy work on them. I think that would be really cool.
And that's what is also very beautiful about this work is, even infusing Reiki into something simple like our drink even. Yes. It's never ending, the work that we do. And it's so beautiful because, it's unfortunate that trauma never ends, but there's people here like us and counselors that can help people through all that.
Yeah, I know, because, I think everybody's been through some kind of trauma. If you even think about it, when you lose a pet, that's traumatic. And so at least we're here to help people through that, because as you well know, when you go through some of those very trying times in life, it can feel hopeless, it can feel dark, it can feel like never ending, and that's a really tough spot to be in on your own, for somebody to be in there on their own. And so we at least can help, shed light, and be that safe place for people to come to, Tell me if you have, and this is kind of I don't even know sometimes how to describe this, but what's the difference, do you think, between spirituality and religion?
So spirituality, I think, comes from a self-being place. When I think religiously speaking, it comes from, it's just like message being relayed. That's how I see it. When spiritually you're seeing from your, it's personal. And it's not being told to you through scriptures. And, I am religious. I do believe in God and everything. But on a spiritual standpoint, it's a completely different level. I really wouldn't know how to answer this question, honestly. But I think spirituality and religion do go hand in hand in a way.
I do too.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And without, spirituality, I think this work would be very hard for us to do. So, being in the spiritual work, it's just, I wouldn't necessarily say there is a big difference, but the innermost part, it comes from within spiritually.
Yeah, more focused. That's a good way to put it. More focused on the self and the person, whereas religion is not that's where they overlap, because a person's religious beliefs are about themselves also. But yeah, I ask that because, I've had people before, not often, but talk about like their struggle with believing in holistic practices sometimes because of the spiritual aspect versus their religious beliefs. And I try to explain to them what the similarities are. And always, always it's up to a person's comfort zone. But like, yeah. So I guess that's why I'm bringing it up. There are those people.
I think if I were to answer that question, if somebody were to ask me, about that, because I have gotten asked that question actually from a religious standpoint, if our work is witchcraft or heebie-jeebie, everybody has their own opinion. And I always tell the client that we work through spirit. I would not know what is going on with you if it wasn't for them. Mm-hmm. So yes. Again, spirituality and religion do go hand in hand, because without my religious background, I don't think I would be able to have my spirituality. Right. I would not receive the messages that I need to help these clients as well as I do.
Right. Yeah, I agree, and I tell people, well, we believe in God. I mean, it's interesting, though, how some people don't feel comfortable, with it because of that. And that's, that's fine. People need to find their comfort. But I think there is a lot of overlap. And not everybody believes in God. Like some people call God a creator, source. I mean, there's that direction, too, where some people are opposed to religion, Mm-hmm. I like spirituality because I think it's a nice combination of both. Like it kind of covers a wide territory, of God belief and of self-belief, like just getting in touch with who you are and what you need, as a person, as a client, if you're receiving the holistic service, and as a practitioner, both ways. Like, yeah, so I think it kind of covers a broad range of things.
Definitely, because without enlightenment, going back to religious, without enlightenment, what is there? We have to be enlightened beings to be able to work spiritually. Mm-hmm. So it definitely overlaps. And I think that's maybe what confuses people.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to me because, and I'm not well versed in the Bible, so I'm not even going to try to pretend that. But in general, there were people like prophets and different people like that, in biblical times, and people that would perform miracles and all this stuff. And it's like, so why can't that exist now? And it saddens me, right, to meet those people that don't have that level of faith that can happen now and does happen now. Whether it's the energy that you get from watching a sunset, like that can be amazing as you take those rays into your body, anything nature, right, where you're just like, more than just looking at a sunset and saying that's beautiful, but really taking that energy in is amazing. Like it's magical. And why can't it be? Does that make sense?
It really does make sense, honestly. And I think it's a very hard conversation to have with some people, yes. Honestly. I think it's just everything that society has going on in the year that we're in. It's people are blinded, yes. Truly, honestly. And it's just, like you said, maybe all through experience and what people feel when they're experiencing these things. But, we definitely are gifted to do what we do. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's a blessing, and I think that we're doing God's work, really, truly. That's 100%. How I feel. And so to me, I think that's just a beautiful, positive thing. Even this podcast, to me, is doing God's work because it's all about raising awareness. It's all about reaching out in another forum. This is just a different format of reaching out to people, trying to get people information that can be helpful to them in some way. All of the podcast guests have been of that same line, like informative, what they share about themselves, what they share about whatever work they do or whatever topic they're here to discuss. It all is aimed at reaching out to people and helping people, and I always like talking to just all kinds of people because it appeals to somebody out there. Somebody out there can relate to that cop that we had on with his canine. Some people out there can, who else have I had on too? Richard Caruso, who, was a whistleblower. I mean, there's something for everyone, and you all, and I always just think, well, this will reach somebody will be able to relate to what it is that we're talking about and find it helpful,
Yes, definitely. Because, before I started with you, I was so excited to hear everything that you're doing. I mean, I just wanted to dive in head first and join you because it was just so, again, eye-opening and beautiful, and to see how it affected me getting work done on myself. It was, a very, what's the word I could use? Just a very beautiful experience to know that you're understood when you were in a place that you thought, you're alone, and how could anybody understand what I was going through? And experiencing the holistic work being done on myself, I felt that peace and that beauty and that sense of bliss that I never had before. And to be able to receive that, knowing that I could give that to other people, absolutely.
Right.
100%, because it's just never-ending love that you're sending out to people.
Yes.
The universe and the energy, and times are changing, and the work that we're doing, it's making a really big difference.
It is making a difference. It makes a difference for the people that come in, whether they're struggling with addiction or anxiety or depression or all of the above, PTSD. Those are all the kinds of people that we encounter and deal with, and sometimes they're not active in their addiction, maybe they've had addiction in their past, but one thing about the body is the body does not forget, and the body does not release things just because time passes. And so the work that we do is all geared to help a person heal and move that energy out of their body that's been there sometimes forever, like since they were kids, or more recent or whatever, and I think that's amazing. It's also great because you can become a holistic practitioner and you don't have to go to school for years. And I think that's nice. It makes it, I've talked to a lot of people that, and including yourself, I think, that who really wanted to help people but didn't realize, there's other options. Like, you don't have to go and get a formal degree. That's great if you want to do that, but that's not for everybody. Some people don't want to spend the time, or they don't have the money, or whatever the case is, Mm-hmm. And so being able to get trained as a holistic practitioner, if that's somebody's thing, you can do that in a short amount of time, right? And not super costly, not like an education would be if somebody went to college, Mm-hmm. So talk about that, like, just talk about that, like your experience with the training, and is that something you can relate to, that you wanted a career, but, you thought you would have to go to school in order to have that, or?
Yes, actually, I remember when I first started, coming from where I did come from. Like I said, I wasn't able to finish school because of what, I was dealing with and everything. So being able to do something that I was so passionate about, and you giving me the chance to do so, it was just amazing, because these skills were kind of like set into place already, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually with everything, and having these tools in my toolbox already, knowing that I can pull them out and they're useful in this work, it's incredible. And I remember I saw you for about 7 years before I fell off the map for a while. And I did come back to you after I got over all of my stuff, and you introduced me to the holistic work, and I think if it was not for that, I would not be here today, because I did, counseling and everything before, but the holistic work is what really opened my eyes and pulled me out of those situations that I was in, because I then knew that I did have a reason for being here, and it was so much more than what I had thought.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think it's really kind of been your saving grace in a lot of ways, because, well, for one thing, when we work on people, we get healed too. Like, it's a beautiful thing because of the energy in the room, and, God and Spirit's presence and everything energetically. It's like we experience that same healing, and that's what work can you do where you experience that, so it's amazing.
It is, to be able to have such a amazing energy exchange that that they're leaving satisfied and you're leaving feeling great as well. It's really
That's
amazing.
not draining at all, huh? It's like
Not at all.
rejuvenating, and I leave after working on somebody and I feel like energized, you know?
Honestly, after doing holistic work on clients, I can honestly tell you that I do not know what trauma feels like anymore.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that is a very beautiful thing to say, because of all the
Yes.
things that I have went through, all of the struggles, to not know what trauma feels like and to live a trauma-free life is probably the biggest accomplishment
Wow.
that I have
Yeah.
got through doing this whole holistic work. Because like you said, you're not only helping people, you're helping yourself as well. And that's the most beautiful thing about this work, is to be so broken and lost in this world that when you do find your place, you just fit like a puzzle piece. And I found my puzzle where I fit.
Yeah, like you don't feel out of place anymore.
At
it's
all.
Like, oh, this is like home.
Exactly.
Kinda like,
I feel like my holistic family, was waiting for me just to come and join them. And
like your tribe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Our tribe is just, we have such a beautiful group of people that I couldn't even, tell you about, because they just fill me with so much joy. And even being around them, or even your presence, it's just so uplifting that you love life.
Before I got into being a practitioner, I would be around people that had that kind of energy, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I just want to like drink your energy, like it just felt so good to be around them. And it's awesome because now I'm around people like that every day, and I feel like I have that, and it's beautiful. It's like, wow, I don't have to drink it anymore. Like I carry that, and I'm around you and all the other practitioners, and it's just amazing, to have that all the time.
It's
Like,
beautiful.
What a blessing.
Especially when you have people coming to you and telling you, your energy really lifts me up. And it's very nice to be able to just be around somebody and then feel your energy to help them.
Right? Yeah. Tell me about, because I think one of the great things is you constantly work on developing yourself as a practitioner. Like, I've done some coaching with you, and that's where I've been able to see all the extra things you spend to grow and develop you. You also have your own business in addition to the work that you do for Resilience Integrative. And so talk about that, like some of the cool stuff you're doing, what you want to share, because some of it you had to, keep, until you release it to the public. But yeah.
Yeah, well, so it's, being a holistic practitioner, it's not just, a career, it's a lifestyle that you have to
Yes.
take and go in the motions with. Every morning you wake up and meditate, you have your schedule planned, because energy shifts. Excuse me, it's constantly shifting. So in order for me to be on a good spiritual standpoint where I could work on clients, I need to make sure that I am holistically set. I'm clear, my chakras are balanced, my mind is clear. And it does take a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like work to me. Right. It feels like a hobby. Yeah. I love to sit there and meditate and to do crystal healing.
Yeah, it's like your self-care, so we would need to do that anyways, hopefully, right?
Exactly, and it's just completely changed my life in so many different ways. I mean, my sleeping patterns, my exercise, my eating, I feel like a normal human. Like I feel healthy and strong and powerful, and it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding at the end of the day, because I know that I am in a place where I am able to help these people, and they can come to me and know that they're in good hands.
Well, the thing that really impresses me about you is you take what you do in your role as a practitioner very seriously. Like your commitment to people is a lifestyle. And I'm the same way, all day. There's different things I do, from meditating to, all kinds of things, seeing a spiritual advisor and mentor myself, or, just because I know that when I go into doing that work with someone, I want to be the best me that I can be, mentally, physically, emotionally, So, yeah, and that's how you are. You take it very seriously. Like, it's a commitment that you've made and taken, and not lightly. Like you take it serious.
Absolutely. And I mean, there has been things that I had to, certain people and things in my life that have passed because of my career, but it's all for the great intention, you know. Everything happens for a reason, and the people in my life that are here now are supposed to be here. I am where I need to be, and it's just everything has fallen into place divinely since I have started my practicing, and it's also the lifestyle that I choose to carry out with it.
Which is a much better lifestyle.
Oh, 100%. Like I said,
like for myself, I speak like I've lost friends. You know, I've had a lot of shifting in the people that are in my life, past and present, but it's all good. I mean, it's not that I had bad people in my life. I'm not saying that, but like, you know, when you're on a journey like we are, there are changes that happen, you know, because not everybody can even understand the kind of work that I do or why I do it. They look at it as work, and I'm like, it's not work. Like, I mean, I don't consider what I do work. When I'm working on clients and stuff, that's not work to me. It's got a whole different, feel to it. That is not work to me. It feels great. I feel in bliss, you know, like you were talking about earlier, and I feel like that's where I belong in that, you know, moment in time. It's not a moment, but, you know, it's not work, and a lot of people can't understand that.
it's very gifting. I will agree with you with that, honestly. It's very gifting, definitely, because, you know, the work that we do, like you said, it's not work. It's like we were gifted, truly, to be able to do the work that we're doing and to be able to hand somebody, you know, a gift of relief or, you know, a good night's sleep. That's just a reward in itself.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I love when I have people come in like the week after for, you know, a follow-up session, and they're like, oh my gosh, I slept better, I feel so lighter, I just feel happier in general, and I'm like, awesome, you know, and to be able to cheer them on and celebrate with them, you know, the changes that happen for them.
Yes, most definitely. And it's also very beautiful because not only the work we do is, you know, it's a lot mental, but physical work. You know, the holistic work that we do, it's also impacting them physically. You know, if they have, for example, arthritis in the knee, we could do our holistic work on the knee. And I mean, I'm not saying it's going to take away their arthritis, but the client will definitely feel the relief that we have,
yes,
the work
absolutely.
that we have done. So it's just never ending.
Well, and stress, you know, because stress, and there's studies that have been done, I mean, you can easily find them in the research, the havoc that stress wreaks on the body. Stress is awful on the body. And so at the very least, the holistic services help significantly reduce stress in the body. And then that automatically helps the body not get diseased, you know, and helps like medical conditions improve because you don't have the stress that's almost like sabotaging the body from healing. You know, you don't have that. And so, yeah, it's an amazing thing. What else did I want to ask you? For you, what's the difference between Reiki and quantum alignment from your practitioner standpoint?
I would say the difference between Reiki and quantum alignment would have to be the amount of energy that's going through while you're working on them. Because Reiki, you know, you could go and work on somebody and heal them and clear them, but as far as quantum alignment, you're going in depth. You know what I mean? You're pinpointing exactly what part of the body. When Reiki is the same thing, but I think the modalities that you came up with for quantum alignment really pinpoint certain things. And, you know, we do different muscle testing, aromatherapy, you know, it's color. We do crystal healing involved, tuning forks, and it's just, you know, it really helps you pinpoint exactly what's going on in their life at that specific time that they need help in. And Reiki, I mean, you're clearing it all, which is beautiful at the same time. It's a beautiful work. But quantum alignment, you're pinpointing what that person is going through right now that's affecting them. It could have even happened years ago. But what's affecting them right now at that moment that brought them to you?
Right.
I would say that would be the difference.
Yeah, and it's nice to have the option of doing both because some people come in and that's what they're needing is Reiki. It's a much more gentle, moving energy. And quantum alignment is, I think, just deeper. And yeah, and both are great. I'm not saying that Reiki's not good. It's great. Like, that's how I started my holistic career, is getting trained in Reiki 1. Now I'm a Reiki master teacher, but yeah, it's a beautiful modality, and it's nice to just be able to have that toolbox that you can take out whatever that person is needing in the moment.
It really is, honestly, and it could be anything. I mean, there's been times where I've planted flowers into somebody, and it's you never know what you're going to expect, and I think that's really
it's always interesting.
Very interesting.
It's never the same.
It's always
even
different.
with the same person, it's different. Yeah,
yes,
which is
it's
cool.
Very personal, and the energy, shift. You can see it, like you said, from when they walk in and when they leave, and it's just, I feel completely in place and healed myself. Grounded and balanced, and it's amazing.
That's nice. Yeah. Anything else you would want to share?
Just the fact, that I'm happy to be here, part of several of your different teams, working, with holistic work and everything, and it's been such a rewarding experience. And I think for our listeners that they should definitely come and try some of these options that we're talking about. We have so many different modalities, and
we do. Our menu's getting, longer and longer, which I love.
Yes.
Latisha will be, so I'm developing a holistic practitioner certification program called Aligning Body, Mind, and Spirit. And Latisha will actually be teaching a class on auras, because Latisha can see auras. I cannot. I can try, and that's just not one of my gifts. But talk about what that's like.
It's actually
I know I've asked you before. I'm like, what is that like?
It's been very interesting, to tell you the truth. I was in your class the first time that I saw an aura.
The intuition, wasn't it?
Yes, we were taking our intuition course, and a light just came behind you, and it got brighter and brighter and brighter until literally, like, my face was like this, because, like, your aura was so bright, I couldn't even look at you, in a good way, And after that, I slowly started just seeing these colors appear behind people.
Wow.
And it's just like a light mist of light behind them that appears, and it just radiates brighter and brighter. It could be green, yellow, white, And it's very interesting, because I don't know what they mean right now, but I know that it's the divine trying to connect with me, and I think that is incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to do some more research and some more studying on auras, so that way I know what I'm looking at. And
well, I think, too, as you and I work together to put the curriculum together for that class, I think a lot of information will come through intuitively.
Most definitely.
And it's like once you open that gate, it's like, then Spirit and God just kind of send the information, So that's exciting. And then also she's a mentor. So, like, if any of you want to talk to Latisha more about anything, you can contact her through the remotely-unique.com website. She also has her own business, Ingenious Energies. But yeah, you can contact her through Resilience, and then look for, if you're interested in becoming a holistic practitioner, you can contact me. And also, if you want information on the Aligning Body, Mind, and Spirit, I'll be having some amazing practitioners involved in the curriculum, involved in that whole program. So that's kind of exciting. It'll include a certification in sound healing and just all kinds of good stuff. Quantum alignment training and Reiki training, and what else was I thinking? Chakra balancing and more. The sound healing is the next thing I'm working on, the sound healing certification. So,
how exciting. It's nice that everything is just falling into place, right? Our puzzle is slowly coming together.
Getting complete. Yeah.
And it's so amazing to see, at first the pieces were here and here and here, but now that it's coming together to make the big picture, it's
even the space, right?
Exactly.
Is coming together, and I've been focusing a lot on decor, but it's not just a matter of decorating. Like, Latisha and I came, I think, on a Saturday morning. Saturday, it took the whole day, actually, not just the morning. And we put together the newest treatment room, and it's called Higher Heart. It's named after the heart chakra. And it was not just us decorating, it's really filling the space with intention and, intention for healing and intention for good things. really infusing love and kindness and all kinds of energy into the room. And now people walk into the space and they're like, oh my gosh, it feels so incredible in here. And so that was pretty cool. She's also going to be helping me put together the sound bar. So that's our next little project. I've been getting the tablets for that, and different things coming in, so that then we can go in and put everything in its place, so to speak. So that'll be the next thing we work on.
How exciting. Everything we do here is just amazing. From the simplest things to the biggest things, it's just very incredible. And I am very honored to be part of your team.
Well, you were, handling a hammer and nails and wearing a hard hat for what, just like a month and a half ago? How long has it been?
I actually started as a one-year assistant last month. Before I was doing construction, and that was, a completely different line of work, and the energy there was just But being here, it's a really big transitioning, going from a hammer to a computer.
Well, you've come in handy here. So you have those skills.
But I enjoy my work here a lot. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just waiting for the rest of my plan to unfold.
Yeah, it seems longer than a month and a month.
I feel like I've been here, honestly, for a good 6 months, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's crazy. It feels, it's just because it's just right. It's the right thing,
Exactly.
So. Well, thank everybody for tuning in. Again, you can find this show on remotely-unique.com, on our YouTube channel, Remotely Unique, on Spotify, Amazon, and iTunes. And I'll continue through July introducing the rest of my team. You have a great evening. Be good to yourself and to each other. Bye for now.